What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another video, man. Been about a week, so missed you guys, but I'm glad we finally have some news we can break down, dissect, and all that good stuff. So, welcome back to the live stream. All right, we hear the news today. All right, Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets. It was all a hoax. All right, these guys never were really going to trade Kevin Durant in good faith. And this was all basically attention whoring at its finest. This is them trying to attention grab and possess the offseason because they had basically no cards up their sleeve to improve the roster. All right. So I find it extremely funny how on Kobe Bryant's birthday, by the way, before I even say anything else, happy birthday to the late, great Kobe Bryant, our GOAT, the Black Mamba. All right. No introduction needed. Just absolutely the best. Happy birthday to him. It's one of those things where we remember, we watch highlights and what could have been if he was still alive. But what really irked me and just pissed me off completely was the fact that they announced this on Kobe Bryant's birthday, and then Wojnarowski turns around and he drops a tweet about, just like Kobe Bryant did a couple years back, Kevin Durant chooses to stay with it. No, nothing like Kobe Bryant. All right. We're talking about Kevin Durant, who's already basically taken the easy route, went to Golden State, won 2 championships that feel like half of one, and, went to Brooklyn, caused the whole scene, the whole dramatic thing between him and Kyrie. And now they want to compare him. No. Kobe was with his team. He went through the ups and downs. And when he decided to stay, it was a in-house thing. It wasn't an all summer long, drag it out type of thing. But you know what? At the end of the day, guys, everything happens for a reason. And now we can finally breathe a sigh of relief and move forward and see how we can improve this roster. Training camp's about 5 weeks, give or take, away. So, we need to move on. But how y'all doing today, man? How y'all doing? Good morning. What's up, Bridget? Hey, what's up, Tara? She said, good morning, Dan. Hopefully Rob is working some deals out. Yes, we need Rob Pelinka to get this team right because we're not all the way complete. And we are going to talk about some rumors. We're talking about some potential packages and stuff like that. What's up, Tasia? What's up? He said, Dan, I'd rather have Buddy and Miles anyway because when AD gets hurt, we still have a good rim protector. Honestly, didn't want to see Kyrie. He's too toxic and selfish. No. Let's not go slandering Kyrie. He might still be a Laker by the end of next year. All right. Or should I say by summer next year? So hold your horses on that one. But yeah, you know what? This was tiresome. I was tired of making videos on a similar topic, and now we can finally move on. This is my official last video on the whole Kyrie KD situation. So I'm happy. I'm happy that we can finally focus on our own roster and improving it from within. What's up, Gunner? Thanks so much for the super chat, bro. He said, thoughts on Patrick Beverley tweets to KD. I'm glad you brought that up. All right. You guys know that I've been a notorious Patrick Beverley hater over the course of the years, tweeting about him. I haven't bought into his antics, none of this stuff, right? But I think he's finally getting on my good side, and I think I can finally give him my blessing if he joins the Lakers because, not just because he plays solid defense, but because he's kind of turning a leaf from that a-hole he once was with the Clippers. And I feel like he's kind of, cleansing himself from those demons, and he's actually speaking out for the people. I mean, those tweets between him and Kevin Durant were A1. I mean, he called them out, basically said, finally, people have been holding out for jobs and stuff. This drama has been holding that up. So now we can move forward. Basically, essentially what I'm saying right now. And KD took up against it, being the cupcake that he is. I'm just playing, not a cupcake, just joking. But, being as sensitive as he is, he took arms against it. And I sided with Patrick Beverley for the first time in my life. So it feels a little weird, siding with the enemy. But I think if he came to the Lakers now, I think I'm ready. I'm ready for it as a fan. He said, based off the idea that the tea leaves, Dan, what do you see the Lakers leaning towards? Which package? DTLF always working. Appreciate you, bro. I'll get into that right now. I will talk about all the packages and stuff like that. Justin, thanks so much for the super chat, bro. Appreciate you always. My boy Dontario says, what's up, bro? Number 2, happy birthday to the Black Mamba. What's up, buddy? And yes, happy birthday to our GOAT, Kobe Bryant. He said, I'm low-key glad that the KD fiasco is over so we can move into whatever we've got to do next. And we got some juicy rumors to talk about, so I can't wait to dive into those right now. But yes, happy birthday to the Black Mamba. one of those things where I hate that we have to be talking about other news on this day, but Kobe wouldn't want to have it any other way. He's always going to work, so will I. As far as this whole situation, man, yes, I'm sure not just the Laker fans, but I'm sure the NBA is glad that for now, because listen, these are drama queens we're talking about over there in Brooklyn, from Joe Tsai to Kevin Durant to, yes, even one of my favorite players in Kyrie Irving. There is drama always around those players. So something might resurface again at the trade deadline, but at least we can all have a peace of mind from here until training camp and moving forward, and focus on each other's respective teams. I'm sorry. But yeah, thanks for the super chat, bro. Now, for the question you guys have been asking about, what do the Lakers do now? What package is better? I do want to say this. There are reports now that the Lakers could have interest in several of the veterans that the Utah roster has, including Bojan Bogdanovic, Mike Conley, Patrick Beverley, Malik Beasley, Jordan Clarkson, and Jarrett Vanderbilt. All right. Now, you guys know that my preference personally has been the Indiana Pacers one, unless we have to give up 2 first-round picks. No matter which one of these 2 packages it is, if we have to give up 2 first-round picks, I'm not happy about that, right? Because we might as well get everybody they just mentioned in Utah if we're giving up 2 first-round picks. Only that way, but none of these role players to me are worth 2. Maybe 1, maybe 1.5 with some protection, but not 2. So as long as whatever trade we do, I don't want this to signify, all the leverage for the Lakers is gone. Their main target is off the board. So now the Pacers and the Jazz think, hey, we can swindle them and take 2 first-round picks now. No. We got to be smart still. Now, I do want to ask Laker Nation this, guys. Who do you guys like better? You guys want, the Indiana Pacers trade with Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, or you guys want one of the players I just mentioned in this package for the Utah Jazz? What do you guys prefer? He said, not the breaking news headline I was expecting. I know, right? This whole summer has been a dud thanks to Kevin Durant and Joe Tsai's drama. These guys wanted to be at the forefront of attention. Well, you got that, so congratulations. But now everybody's pissed off and annoyed, and they're coming for you guys during the regular season. Trust me. Everybody's circling that Brooklyn Nets game, because they want to kick your guys' crap in. I promise you that after, what you guys pulled off this summer. That's cheap. That's garbage, man. They should have just came out and said this from the beginning if they were going to go this route. But, of course, I expect nothing less from those players and that front office so far. He said, I want the Jazz trade, Pacers, Utah, depth, more playoff experience. Tasia says Pacers all day. Jazz, whatever trade package gives us a more depth. I agree with that one. Now, even though I'm leaning towards the Pacers trade, if we get more depth from the Utah Jazz trade without giving up as much, then I'd be leaning towards that one. So I agree, but nothing is official. All of this has been speculation. Like I said, Rob Pelinka, man, he usually, when he swings a trade, is something we don't expect. Now, there's also rumors about the Lakers would be interested in considering signing Dennis Schroeder if there's some roster changes right before the year starts. So, what do you guys think of that? I mean, I'm curious. This must mean we're definitely offloading Russell Westbrook if that happens. Maybe Kendrick Nunn or THT or both. I don't know. I'm curious to see what you guys think about Dennis Schroeder after he dropped some bagels in the playoffs. Now, I know some of you guys are forgiving. So am I. And if we land Schroeder, then so be it. But I hope he comes off the bench. I think that would be his best role. I don't want him starting. He already proved he can't take the pressure of LA starting. I mean, the dude has a Boston Celtic tattoo on his damn, his leg or his arm? I don't know. One of those. So that's going to be cringe already. But, I mean, we do have the Bill Russell clover all over the season, stamped on everybody's arena this year. So that's unfortunate in itself. I can't forgive him, Dan. I just can't. I feel you, Tasia. A lot of people say no. Some people say yes. I'm in favor of whatever makes the team better. If that's what they feel will make the team better, if Darvin Ham feels like he can get something good off of him, then I'm all for it. Otherwise, yeah, I'm not, He said someone threw out this trade scenario, and I kind of like it. He said Russ to Orlando for Fultz. He said Harris and Ross, it gives us shooting and perimeter defense. Let me dissect that trade right quick. Okay, so Russ to Orlando for Fultz, Harris and Terrence Ross. I like Terrence Ross. I like Gary Harris. Obviously, Markelle Fultz is a question mark, but if developed properly, he could be solid. But I still don't like that package as much as I like other packages. Although it does provide some shooting, like you said, some wing depth with Terrence Ross, who's what 6'6", something like that, 6'7". So yeah, it definitely checks off the boxes of what we need on this roster for sure. But it doesn't move the needle for me, not necessarily. I think the other two trades have more household names, more proven players. Now, as far as Mike Conley goes, that's a big question mark for me, man. This guy's always going through injuries. He's a very good floor general. He's a very good game manager. And what I mean by that is he does all the right things, makes the right plays, makes the big shots at times. So I like Mike Conley, but I'm not in love with that piece because it's always injured and it has a huge contract. As far as Patrick Beverley, like I said, I'm starting to come around on him. His mindset is going away from Clipper mentality, so that's a good thing. And he plays solid defense, which are the upsides. But he's still not the marquee piece that I think the Lakers need. Buddy Hield, even though he's streaky, he might be able to thrive off the bench for the Lakers or maybe even starting alongside AD and LeBron, given that he'll get so many wide open shots. And Miles Turner definitely provides that inside big man depth. Now, I do like Bogdanovic, though. He's nice, all right. Bojan Bogdanovic from the Jazz, to me, I think is the main piece you want to acquire if you're trading for a player of that caliber because he's a 3-and-D guy, right? And he's that wing with size that you want it, right? Who else? Jordan Clarkson, I'd love to have him back as a 6-man. Bring on the Ninja Blender. And then who else? Who else would they be giving up? Malik Beasley, I like, but he's also streaky. You never know what to expect with him. But this is all good depth. And I'm glad that the Lakers can finally move forward. But there's going to be good trade pieces available for Lakers. The only question mark is what is expected from the Lakers. Do teams still want us to give up 2 first-round picks? Because if that's the case, I don't know if they do it. He said, I can forgive Schroeder if he is a minimum deal and comes off the bench. I agree with that. That is definitely the ultimate, humble yourself story right there if that happens. That is the ultimate humble yourself story. Buddy, Turner, and Patrick Beverley. Now, that would be nice. If we can pull off something like that, then, again, it checks off all the boxes. We get some inside depth, like you said, Tasia, with Turner. And then Patrick Beverley and Buddy Hield, obviously, you got some guard depth there. And the shooter. That I think the question now is because, obviously, Buddy Hield is a shooter, right? He shot a career clip of 40% from beyond the arc around there. He's hovering around there throughout his years, right? My thing is, does he sustain that with the Lakers? And also, he's not going to get the same amount of volume shots, right? Whether he's off the bench or he's not. So my whole situation with that is, what are the Lakers? How much do we value that? Ooh, whoa. I guess you guys are right. You guys in the chat, man. There's now a report that the Lakers are interested in Donovan Mitchell. Whoa. This has taken a sharp left turn. All right. Something I didn't even think was possible. I mean, we could be interested in Donovan Mitchell, but what are we going to give up? Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Shout out to Anthony for the tweet. Listen, Donovan Mitchell, obviously, I love the player. I think he is out of this world good. Like, he's probably the next D Wade, right? If he's on the right winning team. But Donovan Mitchell, man, have you heard what they're asking for him? They're asking for about 20 first-round picks and 5 good prospects. We don't have what they want unless they're thinking about trading Anthony Davis, which I doubt. Obviously, he has been at the forefront of Darvin Ham's system talks, right? How he's going to implement him. So I just don't see that happening realistically, guys. Yes, it's great to be involved in rumors. It gets everybody excited. But realistically, Donovan Mitchell just seems out of reach, especially for what, the Utah Jazz delusionally think they should be able to get from him. But as far as, the report coming out today about Patrick Beverley and Bogdanovic, that would be dope. That would be dope because we get, my headliner is Bogdanovic. Now, if they throw in Jordan Clarkson or something like that, cool. I'd give up 1 first-round pick and a couple of seconds for that and whatever pieces they want, whether that be. Obviously, it has to include Russell Westbrook. They want THC or Kendrick Nunn. Cool. I'm with it. Yeah, Utah wants too much. And you know what happened was that the market got so saturated because of that whole Utah Jazz Timberwolves trade. The Timberwolves and the Jazz. And again, Rudy Gobert ruining another offseason. All right. And it's one of those things where I'm just like, wow, they're asking for a little too much there. He said the Lakers tax, they would want 200 picks, right? Yeah, that Laker tax is ridiculous. Even to now, we can't swing a regular trade. Like this Indiana Pacers or Jazz trade would have been done if it was other teams interested, or they might be. Who knows? He said, "Man, it's getting sad out here." He said, "Conley and Bogdanovich is a perfect fit." Well, what would you give up for Conley and Bogdanovich? I want to know because I'm not sure what the asking price would be for those two. If it's just Russell Westbrook and a first round pick, then sure. He said, Dan, do you think Jaylen Brown will sign as a free agent with the Lakers in 2 years? Too early to tell, man. I like Jaylen Brown. He's a great young player. But I think the Lakers are trying to target somebody more like Jason Tatum. And you've seen LeBron and him linking up at the Seattle Pro-Am. So I thought it was interesting, but maybe I'm reading too much into it. Too early right now. We'll talk about it as we approach that free agency and depending on our cap flexibility by then. Although we are projected to have a ton of cap because that's when both LeBron James and AD come off the books, assuming we don't agree to another contract extension till then. He said, Dan, Mike Conley is terrible. Why do people want him? He's not terrible. He's just always been injured, and I think people forget about him. Mike Conley is a very solid role player, man. He's never been has he been an all-star? If memory serves me right, I think he might have been an all-star 1 or 2 years. Don't remember because who used to watch Memphis back then, right? Not a lot of teams, even though they were good. They had Marcus Gasol, they had Mike Conley, obviously, Zebo, Zach Randolph. But yeah, that wasn't like the most entertaining team to watch. They were called the Grindhouse for a reason. They would slow it down playing the half-court set. But Mike Conley is very solid as a role player, all right, in my opinion, even now, right? Like I said, at times he can knock down shots, play solid defense. The only question I have with him is his health. He's not the flashy guy that the Lakers usually target. That's not what he is. But can he get the job done? Yes, absolutely. I still prefer the other trade packages. He said, Dan, what do you think the Lakers will do with those draft picks? Must be something big happening that year. Oh, what draft picks are we talking about, brother? Are we talking about the ones that we currently might be dangling for role players and star players potentially? What's good? Hey, what's up, Alexis? What's up, brother? He said, Lakers are not looking into Donovan Mitchell trade. That's so cap, especially after what they asked for from the Knicks. That's just the report I just read on Twitter right now, man. So it's not, essentially something that we can confirm to be a legit rumor. It could just be hearsay. But it says the Lakers are interested in Donovan Mitchell. That's what it says. John Gambadoro, I guess. I don't know. He has a check mark, 75,000 followers on Twitter. Go check it out yourself. But that's what it says there. I agree with you. I don't think that's a possibility, though. He said, I'm tired of the Lakers popping up because they know it draws attention. That is true. Sometimes a lot of teams or players may use the Lakers name or their name brand for, obviously, for clicks. It happens. Or for attention. But you know what? We're used to it. We're Laker fans. We are in every single trade rumor. Sometimes we believe it. Sometimes we don't. He said, what's our chances with Lillard? As of right now, Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers are on the same page, which means moving forward, he's happy right now, right? They just traded for Jeremy Grant. Obviously, they got some young role players over there. They got a little bit better this offseason. So I think they're going to let that play out. Now, if they're nowhere near the playoffs, I think we can revisit this conversation next offseason. But for now, yeah, I think he's going to be there. For now, he's going to be there. The Lakers are interested in everybody does not mean crap. I mean, you're right about that, but if there's mutual interest, that's when it really starts to develop. Now, one thing I know about Rob, since he has been here, 3-4 years ago when he landed, we know that some of the moves he has made have been, a lot of people didn't predict them, right? A lot of people didn't predict those, and they weren't really talked about in the media, right? Who thought we would sign Montrez, or who thought we would trade for Russ outside of me? Not a lot of people. So he said, rumors mean nothing. I want something to actually happen before I react. I got to give you guys my thoughts on this whole situation because we have been basically dragged along with the Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving rumors. So it's just good to exercise these demons and free ourselves from this garbage, right? These garbage trade rumors that had no validity to it in the end because the Nets were not going to be cooperative and they wanted the stars and the moon from everybody. That's the bottom line, right? But don't be shocked if these resurface again sometime around the trade deadline, especially if the Brooklyn Nets aren't doing good. Especially, you know. He's a Suns reporter. It is what it is, man. You're right. It's always those moves that never get talked about beforehand that end up happening. And usually, historically, it's been like that for the Lakers, right? A lot of people didn't know about Pau Gasol back then, that we would land him, right? There were rumblings that maybe, uh, you know, Memphis would move on from him, but we weren't nowhere even mentioned around the trade rumors, at least not as often as we usually are. So um, that usually tends to happen with the Lakers. Now, there's been times where a lot of rumors do happen, like the Dwight Howard for Andrew Bynum trade rumors. Those happened for months, and they ended up coming to fruition, unfortunately. But yeah, they ended up happening. Now, so it's always 50-50 with the Lakers. That's why we talk about all the rumors. We just want to break it down and give our thoughts on it. Lakers need more depth at the power forward. You think so? You think we need more depth at the power forward? I mean, we have Anthony Davis there. We have Wenyen Gabriel who can play there. LeBron can play some four at times. So Stanley Johnson plays some four at times as well. So I think we have plenty of depth there, but it doesn't hurt to get an extra piece or two. He said Montrez would have been signed if it wasn't for the issues going on with him right now. Montrez is one of the best free agents available right now, at least offensively. If somebody knows how to utilize him well, yes, he's undersized, but he in no way, shape, or form is he a sender. He's a power forward. Okay. Obviously, his three has never been consistent, but if he can knock them down more consistently, he would get some solid minutes for some teams, maybe even start for some teams. But I think on a contender, he could be really good off the bench. I think somebody like Darvin could really utilize him at the four off the bench. And but to be determined, right? Remember, when we had him here on the Lakers the last time around, right, a couple of seasons back, he played exceptionally well to start. And then for some reason, Frank Vogel started going away from him and eventually benching him and giving him DNPs. So that was a little weird, that whole situation. I was like, I think all of Laker Nation was like, what the hell did Montrez do to Frank Vogel for that to happen? So we were shocked, but if they use him properly, it'll be fun to watch because he's somebody who likes to bang down low, at least offensively. He's somebody who can, crash the glass and do some things offensively. So we'll see. I love Trez. You like Trez? Yeah, I like him too. Miles at center and TB at power forward, beast mode. And where does that leave Anthony Davis? I'm curious, brother. But yeah, trust me, a lot of different combinations will happen if we acquire bigs like those. Should Rob be fired if the Lakers are trash? I think he's on strike 2 right now. I think he's the next one in line to get canned if he doesn't get the season right. Remember, we signed LeBron James to an extension, but he was promised a competitive team moving forward. That means no more years where we miss due to lack of talent or being too old or anything like that, right? So due to roster construction, we can't miss the playoffs, and now LeBron might want out because that was the agreement, all right, according to multiple reports. So the Lakers have to make sure that every season we are competing for playoffs, in the playoffs, not for playoff spots, but in the playoffs in order to keep LeBron and his agent happy, right? And we keep LeBron happy. That's the same goal that Laker fans want. We want to compete for championships, right? So LeBron's happy, we're happy, and it would be a beautiful marriage. However, if we fail to build a good team this offseason, right? We have a solid team now. We've already improved, but improvement doesn't exactly equal success to the point of competing for a championship. We still there's still some gaps to fill up. So hopefully Rob can get that done, because if not, trust me, next offseason or maybe even halfway through the season, depending on how it goes, they could be calling for his head on a platter, just like Frank Vogel, just like we were. So he needs to get that right. For sure, he needs to get that right. And that was a part of the contract negotiations with LeBron. Pedro, what's up, brother? Thanks so much I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the donation, bro. You said day one, baby. Here you are, Pedro. Shout out to Pedro, man. He said when AD is resting, of course. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's never bad to have that type of depth, right? If you have Thomas Bryant and they can alternate, it's kind of positionless basketball we play now. So as long as you have two bigs in the paint, I'm happy. I don't want to go small ever again after what I saw last season. I was very frustrated with the small ball BS. And matter of fact, even the championship Warriors, when they were in the finals and they tried taking out their big man, they were getting cooked. So they immediately put him back in and they won that game. So go back and watch the highlights. He said, "What's up, my dog?" He said, "What's up? What's the scoop?" He said, "Been out of the loop." I like that. My boy came out here with the bars. He said, "What's the game plan for this year?" Game plan for this year is we got to shore up our rough edges. We're rough around the edges right now. We got to make sure we shore everything up. Lakers do have to make another move right now, whether that be the Indiana Pacers deal or the Utah Jazz deal or something from left field to address the lack of shooting and obviously to offload Russell Westbrook. Those two things need to happen before we head into training camp, because if not, there'll be too many question marks. Could be a lot of turmoil, and then, like I said, Rob Pelinka's job will become it will be in question for sure, even by me. I've been very fair to Rob. I've given him his fair, I've given him a fair shake, and I've been, solid with the dude. But, Arthur, thanks so much for the Cash App, brother. He said, for the Utah has a treasure chest of talent. Get him. I like that one. Thanks so much for the Cash App, bro. You're right. I mean, Utah does have some depth. If we can come up with a fair trade, I'm with it, man. Shout out to Joseph. Thanks for the Cash App, bro. Said for LeBron had to sign knowing the Lakers are going to get Kyrie Wednesday at 12:24 p.m. Hold up. My boy's still on the Kyrie thing, or maybe this was an old Cash App. I don't know. But look, bottom line is I agree. Utah has some nice talent that I like. Bogdanovich being the headliner for me personally. If we can come up with a fair trade, I say go for it. Either of the two deals, go for it. I'm with it, man. I am with it. I'm just happy. Look, no more. I don't want to hear the name Kyrie or KD for the rest of the season unless something gets done officially. But other than that, we move forward. Now we look at our roster as constructed, man. We got okay, and I broke down the roster a couple of videos ago. But for the sake of short-term memory loss because of all these rumors, let's take a look at the Lakers roster one more time, all right, and see what we could need. Well, we will need. Right, obviously, we got LeBron James as of right now, Russell Westbrook, and AD. All right, we just drafted Max Christie. I don't expect him to get a lot of PT. He looks raw, but who knows if he makes a leap during training camp. Thomas Bryant will be our starting center. I could all but guarantee it as we are constructed right now. Lonnie Walker, that's somebody that if Russ ends up being on the team, right? If Russ stays on the team, look for Lonnie Walker to get major minutes because I think Russ is going to mess up a ton. And if Darvin Ham sticks to his facts over feelings quote, well, then you can see Lonnie Walker pulling up to snatch some of those minutes. All right, Scottie Pippen Jr., two-way player. Unless we're getting blown out or the other way around, we're blowing a team out. Hopefully that one. He won't get many minutes either. I doubt it. But I don't know the way Darvin Ham operates. He might be an equal opportunity coach, which would be ideal for me because I don't care about the experience. I care about the results. Whoever's putting out the best results should get the bulk of the minutes, right? So obviously Kendrick Nunn is probably one of the biggest question marks on the Lakers. We don't know if he will play early on to start the season and how healthy he's going to look. But I look for him to get major minutes if he's healthy. Damian Jones, I think it will be the backup big, either at the 4 or at the 5, most likely at the 5. Damian Jones, hustle guy, motor guy. So we got that on check, right? We got both him and Thomas Bryant down low, one to start, one to come off the bench. Troy Brown Jr., another question mark to me. Now, he has a ton of potential, but he's still young. He's only 23. And he's somebody that I think might be able to grow into the rotation. 6'6", 6'7", wing with good wing depth, wingspan, can shoot the ball, play solid defense. We know about him. And then Austin Reeves, I'm very excited for him. Just heard a report this morning that he's the favorite to get the starting shooting guard job. So if he can start, that'll be huge, man. That'll be huge for the Lakers because we're talking about last year's undrafted player who should have been at least second or third team rookie the way he played. He had a couple game winners last year as an undrafted free agent. So my boy got some big cojones, man, and they continue to grow by the minute. So shout out to Austin Reeves. Look forward to what he's doing. Another big question mark, though, Taylor Horton-Tucker. We don't know if he's going to be on the roster. We don't know that at all, right? But if he is, I wish him the best because I think he still has the world of talent. Still only 21 years old. I know we've been saying that for years, it feels like. But my boy is still 21 years old. I'm not giving up on young talent that easy. Stanley the Manly Johnson, a.k.a. Wolverine, has been in the gym working out all summer. Dude looks built, man. I mean, he's always looked built, right? He's always been stocky, but dude looks built, and he's ready to give some major minutes, I think, for Darvin Ham. I think that's exactly the type of player Darvin loves to have. If you look at the way that Milwaukee plays. They love using their physicality. They love using their size in the paint, and they love defenders that get after it. All of that. Stanley Johnson checks off the boxes. So he's, to me, I think he's going to be one of the ones that gets major minutes for us this year. And then Wenyen Gabriel, he was a surprise for us last year. We picked him up midway through the season, right before the deadline. And he was a surprise. He brought energy, brought hustle, tenacity, blocked a couple of shots, hit a couple of threes, was doing some nice things that we were like, okay, why was this man a free agent, right? Why was Wenyen Gabriel a free agent? But I love it. And I think the Lakers have potential right now. Now, if we make one of these trades that we've been talking about, that potential just turns into certainty, right? All of a sudden, you're certain that if we're healthy, we can make the playoffs and then maybe even make some noise in the playoffs. So that's what we're looking for, guys. Who, in Laker Nation's opinion, is standing out the most for you guys that you guys can't wait to watch? For me, it's Austin Reeves and THT and Stanley Johnson. Those three right there. We know what to expect from LeBron, from AD, and if healthy, and from the rest, right? But those to me I think they can be a really good, solid player for us. Oh, I forgot about Cole Swider, by the way. Cole Swider, I still can't wait to see what he does in training camp. Maybe he earns himself something, something decent there. But yeah, the amazing Swider, man. I love it. I love it. Shout out to Alan Lopez. Thanks so much for the super chat, bro. Said happy birthday to Kobe Bryant. Yes, we honor the GOAT today. Absolutely. Love it, man. You see the shirt? Right? Bryant for the win. Bang. Who remembers that play? Who remembers where this shirt, what play that was, man? It was a huge play. I'll give you guys a tip. Let's see who's a diehard in here, man. Who's been in here for a minute? Kobe for the win. Bang. You guys remember that? When did it happen? When did my shirt take place? Let me know, guys, in the chat right now. I want to see that you guys know exactly your history, your Laker history. He said, if none actually plays, what's our ceiling? I don't want to put a ceiling on this team because there's a lot of factors that have to come together for us to work out the way we want to work out. But I think if we get that shooter, we get that defender, we get that inside man, right? I think sky's the limit for our ceiling as far as that goes, right? But as constructed right now, we don't know. I still have to wait to see what type of identity we're going to form or we're going to buy in right off the bat. What's going to happen? Is it in the playoffs versus the Suns? Yes, sir. That's what I love to see, man. Happy birthday to Kobe Bryant. See, real diehards in the chat, man. You guys know your history. That is what's up. That was one of my favorite shots of all time. All right. And overtime, by the way, after we stole the inbounds pass and then, to force it to overtime with the Kobe teardrop. And then, basically he had back-to-back game winners right there. Even though only one counts as a game winner, if he doesn't hit the previous one, he doesn't, there's no opportunity for the next one in overtime. So beautiful thing, man. He said Lakers Suns playoffs. Kobe, I still watch that series once in a while, and I think, man, if Kobe had better role players, rather than Smush Parker, Kwame, and Luke Walton, then we might have. I think Kobe would have went far in the playoffs that year. He was on a tear that year. He single-handedly willed that team into the playoffs. Lamar was his best running mate for sure, by far. But if we would have had better teammates, I think, oh my goodness, that would have been so fun to watch. 06 Kobe dominate in the playoffs. Man, he was on a tear. He almost lifted the leg. He took that Phoenix Suns team. He had no business taking that Phoenix Suns team to 7 games, and he did that. So, still one of the best, man. He said, I tried to tell y'all chill out on the Kyrie to Lakers talk. Here we are now. Last year, an anomaly, but it's going to be different this year. We're going for the chip. Oh, wait. What a 360, bro. But I like your energy. Well, my man said, I try to tell y'all to chill out on Kyrie, but we went in the championship. Whoa. Like, bro has no chill. He went from 0 to 100 real quick. All right, look. As far as the Kyrie situation, I've always told you guys in my heart of hearts, I feel like he will be a Laker. I said, I don't know when. I feel like it could be before training camp, but of course, Brooklyn has to cooperate. Brooklyn did not cooperate. And obviously, they wanted to, I don't know why, they wanted to get rid of KD first, right? Usually, you try to get rid of your lesser player, right? The lesser superstar, and then the big fish, right? So you can get, it kind of sets the table for the bigger trade. But you're right. I mean, Kyrie's not going to happen this offseason, but it might still happen next offseason. So let's hold our horses on that. We still could be right on that front. He said Mim GOAT. Chris Mim, oh my goodness. I remember Chris Mim actually had some monster dunks for the Lakers, man. So he was kind of fun to watch, but always injured as well. Hey, what's up, Danny? Blessings, brother. Hey, Dan, what about Toscano Anderson? I forgot about him as well. Yes, Juan Toscano Anderson for me is going to be that. I think he's going to play the Jerry Dudley role, but he'll have more of a significant role on the court. And what I mean by that, he'll get everybody hyped up. He's a grade A teammate. In training camp, preseason practice, he's going to be probably one of the best players defensively, getting after it and hustling. So I think he's going to be an X factor for us in that way. Now, if he, gets major minutes due to the fact that coach loves him, then I think he can definitely make it a mark because he gets after it defensively at the very least. He's also athletic when attacking the rim and stuff like that. So I think he can be a surprise player. And I think he could be a fan favorite just based off of him playing hard. Remember, historically, the Lakers love players who play hard. The Alex Carusos of the world, the Austin Reeves of the world. He fits that mold, and I think that only bodes well for the young players because they learn from the veterans like Juan Toscano Anderson, and you kind of learn that work ethic. What does he do in practice? What does he do off the court? What is how does he prep? What does he eat? Those are the type of veterans you want to have around your team. And no offense to Nick Young because he was fun to watch, but you don't want the Swaggy P's of the world, who are more focused about the image and that Hollywood lifestyle. You want the Juan Toscano Andersons. So I look forward to seeing what he can do. Hey, Gunner, thanks so much for the super chat, brother. He said, number 1, none. Number 2, Reeves. Number 3, Bron. Number 4, 1, none, 2, Reeves. 3, Bron. 4, AD. 5, Thomas Bryant. He said, to be honest, I really like that with Swider shooting coming off the bench. Good mix of young energy, which we needed last year. He said, now just ship Russ for depth, please. So you would start Kendrick Nunn at the point guard. He's a combo guard, so he could definitely handle that point guard spot for sure. My boy said Reeves at the 2, Bron at the 3, and then the next 3 are basically as we predict it's going to be, right? I like your lineup. Don't get me wrong. As long as Russ is off the team, I like your lineup. But you also have to factor in whoever we trade for. Like, what pieces are we getting in return? Because if we get a better point guard, then I like Kendrick Nunn off the bench. You're going to need some bench scoring punch for sure. And I think Lonnie Walker will provide a lot of that. But Kendrick Nunn and Lonnie Walker seems deadly to me off the bench. But other than that, yeah, I like your lineup for sure, bro. Thanks so much for the super chat. Yeah, it's not a bad lineup at all. I think Thomas Bryant right now has the center position on lock. I will be shocked if we come into training camp and then preseason and you see Damian Jones starting by the start of the season. So yeah, I think Damian Jones has it for sure. I'm sorry, not Thomas Bryant. I think has that on lock for sure. Austin Reeves, we're hearing rumblings that he's about to overtake whoever for the shooting guard spot, which is good. And I told you guys this last year when we were trying to sign Malik Monk. I said the only upside is if we lose Malik Monk, we got guys like Austin Reeves, THT, Kendrick Nunn who can step in. Who's going to step in and be that guy? Well, here's a golden opportunity for Austin Reeves to get the bulk of minutes, major minutes, step up and be that guy that we saw last year. We saw glimpses of it, but now we need to see it consistently moving forward. And he's still young, but he's more well-developed than other younger players because he stayed more in college, right? So I look forward to seeing Austin Reeves. I think he's probably one of the ones I'm most excited for. Dan, how do you feel about Dennis coming back? Dennis the Menace, listen, we talked about this earlier, but I'll repeat it. If the Lakers make a trade and we give up a lot of guard depth, then we have to be open-minded. And that means Dennis at veterans minimum, coming off the bench, buying into his role, would probably be good bang for your buck. But if he wants to start, he's going to come in thinking, now I'm really going to earn this contract now. He starts playing selfish again, having tunnel vision, then I don't want that version of Dennis. We already got that version. That was a crappy version. He was dropping bagels in the playoffs. He was taking his team out of rhythm, doing boneheaded plays, similar to Russ last year. So why would we want that again? Unless he has humbled himself, just like Dwight did the second time he came around, and can actually make an impact for the Lakers. And you know how I am. If you make an impact for the Lakers, we start to like you, and eventually we love you. That's what happened with Rondo. Remember, when we acquired Rondo, a lot of people were like, why? He can't shoot. He's not a good fit, blah, blah, blah. I was like, he's a veteran. He's a champion. And he's a beast, right? That's the bottom line. He gets here. Again, at first, it wasn't a great fit. It was sloppy, all that. But come playoff time in the bubble, playoff Rondo is a real thing, and everybody found out. He became a fan favorite. And I was even bummed out when we traded him last year after the second time he came back. So That's what I hope. Whatever happens, whoever we acquire, whether it's Patrick Beverly, Dennis Schroeder, reacquire Montrez, anybody, as long as they do good and their team first and they actually make an impact on a team that goes deep into the playoffs, the Laker fans will love them. It's happened before. He said he missed so many layups playing with us. He's just, in my opinion, he's not starter material. He's so much better off the bench, which is what he was for OKC when he really made his mark in the league. That's what he was for. I think that's what he was for Atlanta too. I'm not sure. Did he start at first? I think eventually he became a bench player, and he was good for the Hawks and for the Thunder. So DTLF, I want the Lakers to do the Jazz trade. A lot of people do for Bogdanovich, Beverly, and Beasley. That's not a bad package. As long as we don't give up 2 first-round picks for that, I'm cool, man. I'm cool. Tasia said he never looked for AD when he was playing super selfish. You know what? That is true. That's another thing that irritated me about him. He was playing for a contract, and instead he got, he passed up actually a good contract. That very rarely happens when you turn, what was it, 21 mil a year? That turns into like the mid-level exception, and then eventually the veterans minimum. That's tough. So if that didn't teach you a lesson, nothing will. So I hope he humbles himself. He comes back a better player, and good for him. And he gets rid of that disgusting Celtic tattoo. That was really dumb. That's like dating a girl for a week and getting a tattoo, bro. What was you thinking, bro? And then he got traded that same season. Oh my goodness. He better turn that shit into a pickle or something. Something with that ugly green color. I mean, there's not a lot you can turn it into, right? He said Reeves bulk up already. He's been working extremely hard. Rumor has it that the coaching staff had to tell him to go home and take some time off. He declined. My boy wants to be, at the next level. Last year, I think it was only a glimpse of what he could become. He hit a couple game winners, starting from Summer League. When we saw him playing Summer League, we were like, okay, this guy has the potential. Just like we did with Cole Swider this Summer League and Scottie Pippen Jr., we did the same thing with Austin Reeves last year. Remember, undrafted, free agent, shooting guard. He comes, he makes his mark, he stands out above the rest in Summer League, and boom, next thing you know, he wins over the coaches. He gets a regular contract, not a two-way. He gets converted from two-way to regular, and all of a sudden he's playing some minutes in the actual NBA, and he made his mark, man. This guy, he stood out. I remember last year, people were coming right at his neck. They're going right at him. Obviously, he's a rookie. He's light-skinned, so they're going to come after him. And what happened? Dude held his ground, man. His core was strong. Every time they tried to post him up, he wasn't able to be moved very often. He was blocking shots, getting steals. He was exceptional. So I think Darvin Ham likes that, and as he should. He's an intelligent coach. And I think Darvin Ham is going to utilize him to the best of his abilities, whatever it is, whether it's defensive first and shooting second or playmaking second, whatever that is. I think we'll see the best version of Austin Reeves starting this year. So, and again, let's see how far he goes. A cucumber? For reals, right? That's crazy, man. He said, who still eats Subway? Not me. Listen, man, after I heard about that tuna stuff, and I didn't really eat tuna, but my family members and my girl did. So after we heard about that, we were disgusted. Jersey Mike's is the way to go. That's where, if y'all ever go there, man, I forgot the number, but it's a chicken bacon ranch. It's so good. And then with the black cherry soda. He said, I really hope Cole Swider takes the same path as Austin Reeves. We could use a dead-eye shooter like that. And remember, we worked him out twice this summer, right? Lakers had a draft pick, and they worked him out twice. So a lot of people thought we would draft him. We got lucky enough that he did not get drafted. He went undrafted. And I told you guys, this is a landing spot for good undrafted free agents. So it's basically like we have extra draft picks without having the actual draft picks. So the Lakers have done a great job, again, class organization, great job of scouting, great job of player development, and great job of giving guys like Caruso opportunities. People forgot Alex Caruso was a journeyman. He was playing, I think, for the Thunder G League squad. Nobody picked him up over there. The Lakers acquired him over here, picked him up, developed him a little bit for the South Bay Lakers, and boom. Next thing you know, he's playing the championship. He started. Alex Caruso went from G League journeyman to starting, right, for the champion Los Angeles Lakers. If that is not a dream come true, I have no idea what is, man. So yeah, it's one of those things that it's a wonderful story, and I'm I'm very happy for Alex Caruso, even though he didn't stay with our Lakers. He said, Dan, I hope we will start the trade so that we can start building chemistry. And if a trade does go down today, I will drop another video immediately. You guys know where to find me. Only reason I was off for a week, one, because I was going out to see my little nephew doing his little training camps. Man, shout out to the coaches out there. Got to meet some coaches. Actually got to meet an NBA G League guy, journeyman, trying to make it. Not going to mention his name, but I will be rooting for him. And he might even come on the podcast, he said, on the live stream. So if he has time. But look, the dream is alive as long as these guys pursue it. We saw with AC Fresh, and I look forward to seeing, what Cole Swider and Scottie Pippen Jr. can do. And I'm also rooting for Shaq's son, man, Sharif O'Neal. He what team did he sign with? He signed with a G League squad. I think he's making 3 figures. So, I'm sorry, 6 figures, 3 figures. My goodness. Yeah, he's making 6 figures in the G League. So there's actually a career path in the G League where players don't have to go overseas to make a living. And I think that's really awesome as well. People used to make fun of G League players. No, you can't make fun of them no more. And first of all, I don't understand why you make fun of them. They're trying to live out their dream, which is more than I can say for a lot of you potato chip eating couch guys. But look, at the end of the day, following your dream, man, that's what it's all about, the process. He said, Spider and Brown will be fire. It would be fun. I think Cole Swider will definitely make his mark in this league. Hopefully it's for our Lakers. Hopefully we don't botch another good asset here and they sign him eventually because, yeah, he's a shooter and he has good size. If he improves his defense, rebounding, and other things, I want him to put the ball on the floor a little bit more. He has potential to be really good. Think Ryan Anderson from the Orlando Magic, or think Rashard Lewis. Now, maybe not as high as Rashard Lewis, but something along those lines. He can mold his game to be that style of play. But all right, we got about 4 minutes here, man. Any last questions before I get off? Again, make sure you guys tune in. If anything breaks, you know where to find me. Training camp's around the corner, so if you already haven't subbed, make sure you do that. And again, just a quick shout out to my sponsor, Prize Picks, man. 100% deposit match guaranteed for the first time users. So definitely check that out. Promo code DTLF if you guys want. And let's read some comments. He signed with the Defenders. All right. He said, what's good, Dan? Don't sleep on Donovan Mitchell. Rob's got something up his sleeve. And happy birthday to Kobe. He said, live in eternal spirit. Amen, brother. Look, listen, I'm not sleeping on anybody, but realistically speaking, I would be extremely shocked if the Lakers swing a trade for Donovan Mitchell. Like I have no idea how they would do it. Pull a rabbit out of a hat type of thing. But yeah, I would be shocked. He said, hey, Dan, what's your prediction for the Lakers? Trade will take place at some point this week, next week, first week of September, or a week before training camp. If it's true, the reports are true that we had something lined up just in case this fell through with Kyrie, then it should happen this week. It should happen this week, and I should be very excited here to report it to you guys live when it does happen. But if it wasn't true, because, again, there's a lot of false reporting and fake news going on out there in the social media world. If it's not true, then it might take a little longer. But I hope it's true. I hope we can pivot and make the right move that's right for us moving forward. Yeah, so don't forget to like the video, guys. Yes. Thanks so much, Money. Appreciate you. How soon is training camp? It's about 5 weeks away, give or take. I haven't really looked at the schedule, but it's like, listen, we're in August. It's around late September, like the 22nd, 23rd, around there is when training camp starts, unofficially. Now, remember, I do expect LeBron and AD to gather the troops early and rally the guys and get some early work in, maybe, players only type of mini training camp somewhere, maybe in Vegas somewhere. I expect that to happen. So, yeah, it'll happen sooner or later. He said, Mitchell is headed to LA. Y'all some haters. We're haters for being realistic. Okay, if you say so. He said, DTLF, Russ needs to his shot footage to you so you can fix it. Oh, no. Listen, Russell Westbrook is one of these players that probably don't even listen to his own training, coaches and stuff like that. He feels like he's already accomplished, and whoever accepts him has to accept him, broken jump shot or no. So that's the type of player he is, unfortunately. And I wish him the best, just not as a Laker. That's all I got to say. Is that hate? Am I drinking haterade for saying that I wish him the best, but not as a Laker? Because I think that's just being realistic, man. And that's something a lot of the mainstream media won't tell you. They won't be realistic with you. They won't be like, oh, they just give you the politically correct answer. So if you guys want the truth, here it is. We're going to be dropping truth bombs all year long. So make sure you sub. Shout out to my boy Arthur for the Cash App, man. My boy said for J Huff will get signed at some point. Watch. We forgot about J Huff. I'm glad you brought him up, Arthur. Thank you so much, brother. J Huff is also a very good option. We have limited roster spots, though. So training camp is going to be very telling. Can somebody like Wenyen Gabriel get cut, or will he make the jump and stay on the roster? That's going to determine a lot as well, right? So he said, stop the cat. If Russ on the team, he got to play team ball. If Russ is on the team, he's got to get benched as soon as he starts moping around. And if he says anything negative about the coaching staff, they better send him home on an infinite vacation, man. They better send his ass back home and make sure that he stays there. Because the last thing we need is distractions. This is a year we have to make the playoffs at the very least. At the most, we have to get to the finals at the most, right? And win a championship. But at the very least, get to the playoffs. We're not going to miss the playoffs 2 years in a row. No way. And you could almost say 3 years in a row because that one year that we made it, we barely made it, and we ended up getting eliminated in the first round. So that doesn't really count. We're not the Clippers. We're not sitting here celebrating playoff berths. That's not how we roll. Ivan, he says, Dan, Russ just needs to go. I agree with you. Absolutely. What's up, Ice Cold Matt? He said, Donovan Mitchell to LA is dead, not happening. Russ needs to be moved immediately. He said, Pacers deal is the best trade available. Agreed with everything you just said, brother. Thanks, Tech Zone. Thanks so much for the donation, brother. Yeah, our roster is horrible. We aren't doing anything this season. Now, I wouldn't say horrible, Tony. That's a little overblown right there. That's a little exaggerated. Horrible was what we had last year with DeAndre Jordan, Kent Bazemore, Trevor Ariza over the hill. That was horrible. I don't see many dead weight players on this roster, to be honest with you, which is a good thing. So horrible is a little blown out of proportion. But anyways, guys, thank you so much, man. I appreciate everybody who participated today, man. Thank you, everybody who donated, liked, subscribed if you already had it, and turn on that post notification bell because I expect trades to happen this week. All right. If I'm checking myself, if I'm really being honest with you guys, if the reports are true that the Lakers had a plan B moving forward, then there should be a trade, a swift one, just to get us ready for training camp and we can all move on. But I'm glad that the whole Kevin Durant Kyrie fiasco is over with, at least for now. And we can actually focus on our Lakers, man. Training camp around the corner. Very excited. Should be a fun season regardless. I look forward to breaking it all down with you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Peace out.